Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kyle Monahan, and this is a tutorial of how to do deep learning in ArcGIS Pro. This is a series of tutorials, actually, where I'll take you through this process. At first, I want to talk about accessing Sentinel-2 satellite imagery via ArcGIS Pro. And I want to talk through this because the way I'm doing this is actually a bit different than how you might have done it in the past. So, a couple of things that I've done here already, but I want to take you through how to do it yourself. So if you have access to ArcGIS Pro, you should log into it now and open up a new project. I just have one open here. But after you do that, you'll want to click on the regular catalog. By default, it'll start at project. You want to click on portal. Then you want to make sure that all portal is selected. By default, it'll only search your content, of which I have none. You'll want to click on all portal content, and then you want to search for Sentinel-2, or just Sentinel, and Sentinel-2 views will appear. As you can see, this is a RESTful API, an application program interface, to access the Sentinel-2 imagery data. If you right-click on this, you can add to current map. If you do that, a Sentinel-2 views image layer will appear. So it might take some time to load. Believe me, it will. I will pull it to the top here. I am on Wi-Fi, so it might be a little slow for me. So this is the most up-to-date layer. If I go to properties, I can see a large amount of things here. I can see the source is this location, this image server. I can see raster information, the overall size. One thing to note, it is 26.98 terabytes if I were to bring it locally. That is huge. We certainly don't want to do that. One of the things that I can do is I can set up different processing templates. So I can choose a wide variety. Today I'm going to use the agriculture with DRA. This is gives you the band shortwave IR, near IR, and blue with a dynamic range adjustment applied. So it lets you visualize vegetation. We can see this. If you wanted to have none, there is a none section. You can also do DVI if you want just say the NDVI. For example. So here we have this views. I want to show you one other thing about this. So if you click on the Sentinel-2 views, you'll see this image service layer appear. You'll then want to go to data. So it'll default on appearance. You want to go to data. And then what you can do is click on explore raster items. In here, you can highlight by display extent. So for me, first, I am focusing on Puerto Rico. So I want to only really access those that are in Puerto Rico. And then I can filter by, say, the data acquisition date of this. I can then, let's say I only really care about September 2018 to maybe let's just do September 1, 2018. Then for my end date, October 31st, 2018. Maybe a little longer. Maybe I'll even accept until the winter. And then I can click apply, and the objects here that correspond to that acquisition date and in this display extent will appear. So I've actually already done this. So this here is one of the views that I have here, and what I can do now is data and export this raster. Now remember, these are going to be very large, so it is important to think about how you're assigning this data and how it's stored and how you're doing that. So that's a really critical thing to know and to think about before you export. But I just wanted to show you how to access Sentinel-2 data and export it through ArcGIS Pro. Next, what we'll do is we'll get started on bringing some of this data in, focusing on a study area, and bring some of this data into the do some deep learning on crop classification in Puerto Rico.